Oh, man. Okay. Alrighty. Hello, new and returning stinkies. I hope you guys are doing great today. If you're new, hello, I'm Kruzadar. This is my beauty channel, but I do have other channels if you want to check them out. Today I am sick, but I feel a lot better today. If you've been hanging out in streams or you've been watching my other YouTube videos, I've been sounding so bad. So I apologize. I'm trying to do weekly on this channel at least. But yeah, today is just gonna do some off-stream recording. Oh my god, I don't know why my mouth sounded weird like that. Like Marty Crouch. I'm like. Oh god, but no. I saw that there were some questions on people getting into makeup, and they just kind of wanted me to go over the basics with them. And so I'm just gonna kind of do that today, and also do my makeup and get ready for stream. So we're gonna do that. First things first, obviously, when you're depending on your hair length. I mean, even if it's shorter. Yeah. By the way, side note, straightened my hair today. Don't normally do that. Well, straightened it with my Dyson instead of doing like a fluffy blowout. So I'm like, it's weird. My hair's already have thinner hair. It don't look like it, but my shampoo and conditioner has kind of saved myself. But I really recommend clipping your hair up and back, just to keep it out of your face. I don't personally. I know some people really like the headbands. They work for some people. I already don't really have volume in my hair though, and so if I wear a headband, it flattens it down into my head more than it already does. So I feel like that's been a trend. But that said, the base of your skin is really important before you go put makeup on. As you can see, I've kind of got like a little flared up spot right here, and obviously I have acne. My skin kind of like freaked out with me getting sick in my period, so I've been like dealing with flare-ups and stuff, but it's not that bad. Which I can do a skincare routine video if you're interested. But that being said, speaking of skincare and stuff, you hydrating your skin and everything before you do makeup is really important. Otherwise, if you don't have a solid foundation, even if it's like, even if you have acne, if you don't have a solid foundation of at least having the same feel across your skin, you're going to have your makeup kind of pick up on spots. And I can actually give an example too. I caused myself to unintentionally get contact dermatitis in here because I upped my tretinoin and I was still doing my sulfur, and I knew better than to do that, and I did it anyways because I was trying to just get rid of some of the shit that was going on in here, and harsher than I should have been, and I knew it was going to happen because I've done this like 10 times before, and anyways, it's going away. But hydration beforehand is really important. Don't overkill it with the serums, and you don't need 5 serums to use before bed or before you go out every day. You only need like 1 or 2. In my opinion, and then having a solid face cream. I recommend any face cream you get, don't get the ones where you're dipping your hand in the pot. Honestly, I should probably just say this for a skincare video. The whole thing's going to turn into a rant otherwise. I'll make a skincare video and we can go over some stuff on my opinions for things. But hydrate your skin beforehand. Okay, thank you, NVIDIA. I understand that there's a new driver update. I can't wait for the GeForce app to die. I can't wait. It's happening soon. Thankfully, I have a dry cough. Most of my mucus has gone out of my chest and stuff. But your foundation needs to be hydrated. So doing your serums and stuff beforehand, letting it sit in your skin, using your moisturizer before you do your makeup. Now, there's mixed feelings that I have on primer. I've actually been testing out. I normally don't like primers. I feel like they're very hit and miss on how my skin handles them. And there's really only 2 that I use that even then, I can't tell if they really are beneficial or not. I actually think I'm going to try this again today because I've noticed like my makeup's been sitting like harsh on my smile lines, and I can't tell if it's what exactly it is. My skin dry, if I'm just not used to this camera or what. So I'll be using this one today, the e.l.f. one. I have tried the Bobbi Brown one. The price on this is stupid. In my opinion, I feel like this is overhyped. I have not noticed this make a big difference in my skincare outside of like just moisturizing a little heavily extra beforehand. So I feel like this one's a little overrated, but like I'm going to try and give it some more uses. So don't jump the gun on buying an expensive primer. Your skincare beforehand is most important. And don't just do your skincare and then start pounding makeup on. Let it sit until your face is like dry more or less after. So like, be careful of how you're doing it. But you want to do your serums and stuff beforehand. Another thing I want to say is be careful with exfoliating before makeup. if you exfoliate before makeup, if you use a gentle daily exfoliant, Dermalogica has like a good one, you're going to be more or less fine. But if you're using an aggressive exfoliant twice a day, it's not good for you. One, it's not good to do that all the time on your face. But two, you're potentially opening up wounds and stuff for your makeup to get into. It's not really good for your skincare. You have to be careful of how you're doing it with your skincare already on top of it, but primarily with your makeup going in even after still. It's just not a good combination. It's asking for breakouts, in my opinion. So having a good base to kind of go off of will help. So this is, again, the one that I'm using. I'm going to try and not really have to edit too much since I'm trying to take over a lot more work on the channel. It's just because the gaming industry and stuff's just different with money anymore. So I'm trying to pick up more work myself, even though I don't really have that much time for it. So I'm trying my best. But you're going to want to go in, and you can use a primer. You cannot. It's up to you. But I'm using this one. My dogs are playing upstairs, so I truly apologize if you hear them goofing around. I'm going to have to pause and go check on them. But yeah, as you can see, I have very sensitive skin, so just rubbing my face is going to cause it to get red. Now, I kind of slack for stream because I'm sitting here in front of a camera. I'm not really, like, going out and doing much. So I tend to not go down my neck normally. That said, for you, the average person who is going outside, you want to make sure you still kind of bring it down your neck or you're going to look like you've got a mask on, and you don't want that. So you do that, let it sit. This one dries quite fast for a primer. I've got some, I don't know if you can kind of see it. I'll try my best here. I do have pores. You see, this bad boy's tough today. I'm trying my best. You can see facious filaments, I think is what they're called. You can kind of see them. They're not horrible. I try my best to keep them smaller, but those are normal. So, like, you can use a pore filling primer. I don't have good experiences with them. I feel it creates a weird slick and slide on my skin that just doesn't cure down. So it's up to you if you want to use those or not. But again, they're expensive, and if you're just getting into makeup, it's not like the first thing you need to be investing in my opinion. Again, I think the e.l.f. one's nice. I will say, however, I had breakout really easily. I don't have a problem with this one. My sister says she breaks out from it. So if you're this has just niacinamide in it though, compared to the base version. So, like, I feel like there's something different going on in her skincare routine. Like, look at my face. It's normal now. Did you see how red it got? It was crazy, dude. Oh, 1 second. My dogs, they're playing, but I need to, okay, now that I've yelled at my dogs. What was I saying? Anyways, yeah, you could, I would recommend one of the e.l.f. ones to start with, whether it be the pink one or the green one. That also said, I have tried, there's a setting spray also from e.l.f. e.l.f. is a great makeup product brand, and they're cheap. Like, I really like e.l.f. Even though I don't agree with all the people that they work with for sponsorship stuff. That's a whole different topic to get into. They do have some good stuff. The Power Grip Primer is solid. It will make your face look really dewy though, so I've got like mixed feelings on that, but it does do a good job. So those are a couple things you can pick up, add on your list there. But anyways, next is what I recommend doing first, and I don't see people do this. This is my opinion. I think your eyebrows look like shit if you do not use your gel first. And I also don't recommend doing the giant fluffing. So here's the thing with finding your makeup look. Oh, he's being a shithead again. Hold on. Good fucking God. Okay. What I was saying, though. I am a firm believer, and you should do this first. Also, be careful with following, like, trends, whether it be for makeup or for, what do you want to call it? Again, for your everyday makeup. Careful of following trends, whether it be eyebrows or not. When you go through trends, it's fun to do. I recommend taking inspiration from them, though, and not doing the full look unless you're doing it for fun. Because the thing is, it's something with if you hardcore follow trends, in my opinion, it ages you faster. Because you're kind of like, when you go back and you look on pictures of yourself, and again, it's not something you have to care about, but you yourself are going to feel like you age a lot more when you go and you look back at trends, because they're very periodic, versus like you getting used to kind of seeing and taking inspiration for your natural features. That's in my opinion. Like, I go back and look at pictures and I'm like, yeah, I look older, but I don't like look drastically older. But I see all these other people talk about how they feel like they're crazy older, and it's like, when I go and look, I notice the pattern of like, oh, it's because they're hardcore following all these trends. And so, like, in their mind, that's what it's tied to, but also, like, it is what it looks like on the outside. So, I'm just I never did the fluffy brow trend. I did do the blocky brows back in, like, 2016, and I do regret that. That's another thing where, like, I knew better, and, like, I followed a trend, and I regretted it, you know? So there's that. I also recommend curling your eyelashes beforehand. This is also one just from e.l.f. This is the professional one. You don't have to get this one. I was just curious because, like, my other one broke. That was the cheaper one. That was, like, a couple dollars cheaper, I think. I feel like I'm still using two hands to do it. So, like, save yourself some money and just buy the normal one. I don't feel like this one's that much better. I feel like it's more so, like, if you're doing multiple people's lashes in a day, it's, like, maybe a little bit easier on your hand. But yeah, do your lashes beforehand, do your eyebrows. My other feeling on the brows doing them beforehand is I don't feel like it blends in your makeup right. A lot of people I see, and it's weird because I don't know why it's so common, but they do their eyebrow gel after they've done their foundation. Well, you're now mixing that gel and, like, glue into, which this is called, by the way, the NYX Brow Gel Glue. I have really, like, crazy, like, they want to do their own fucking thing eyebrows. This stuff's the best stuff, in my opinion. I've tried quite a bit of shit. But yeah, it's NYX glue. But yeah, if you do it after your foundation, it gets, like, mixed into your foundation, and it gets, like, you get this gluey, like, pilling that'll go on. And this is even with other brands. Like, I don't know why people do their brow glue after they've done foundation. Don't do it. Another thing you can look into, which would be your next step, is a color corrector. So depending on what you have going on in your face, for example, you have red, green is a good thing to put on top of it. If you have darker under eyes, which might have been getting better with the skincare that I use, not nearly as bad anymore. Though I do have some natural hollowing, as you can kind of see. That's just genetic. So, but you want to use, like, a red color corrector. Red cancels out bluey purples, primarily stuff that's more blue. And then green will cancel out red. Blue will kind of add more of a neutral, cooler color if you mix it into your foundation and stuff. So say you've got a part on your skin that feels like way too yellow, the blue will help neutralize the warmth out. So those are your, like, three generic color correctors. And then you obviously have, like, your bronzing and your your contour and stuff like that. But that's for later. I'm not sure what I want to use today for. I do recommend using a brush versus a sponge with your color corrector. Particularly, I'm just using this little one. This is from Cleo Nod. I just thought it was cool. I really like the crystally look. I wish they would come back because I only got, like, 2 of these brushes, and I would have loved a full set. I like how they hold. I don't know. They're nice. And they're colorful. But when you're using a color corrector, if you use the sponge will soak up some of your product to an extent. I do like using a sponge because it tends to make things look more natural. And it's going to look kind of crazy, but since my skin is naturally a little bit red from discoloration, like, blending this out is okay. That's the goal, is to try to kind of get it a little bit evened. Now, I will say this is a more expensive product, but I swear by it, okay? It's actually something I finally bit the bullet on more recently. This one I got in too yellow of it. I tend to have a little bit of a more golden color skin, even though you can't, like, see it too well because I'm inside in my basement. This was a little too warm for me. Does Taz have the blanket? Does he? No, it's just the color of him. I was very confused. The NARS Pot Concealer. This is my recommended next step. So before you do your foundation, you want to get a little brush, and this one's an e.l.f. brush. This is a small one. I don't know what you would call the shade of it, or shape, or what the brush name is, but it's this small. I like this the best. You can get a typical concealer, but I think getting a small one that's compact like this is really good. That also keeps you from dipping in the pot with your finger. You want to avoid putting your finger in things. Ha ha. But using this really sticks. So you want to put it on top of your acne spots and kind of brush it out. It doesn't have to be perfect. And it's going to look kind of crazy right now. But that's okay because it's going to blend out well. But this stuff really sticks even if you put your foundation on after. I've been really, really impressed. I kind of wish I would have found it earlier. But yeah, see how even if it's, like, a little patchy, it looks a little more extreme. Again, my camera makes it a little bit look more extreme, but I still would rather have this amount of detail shown because it's just easier showing products off. Also say hello to Patricia, I think is what we named her. I had a horrible cystic acne spot there. Also, isn't this interesting? I think it's a birthmark I didn't notice I had until when I was older, but I thought for the longest time, I was like, I don't know how, I didn't know I had that there. I was like, oh no, it might be skin cancer. Because it looks weird, it's like more red, but no, I'm pretty certain it's a birthmark I just didn't notice I had until I was older. But yeah, you want to put on your acne spots. Again, kind of, fade it out a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mine, as you can see, looks kind of crazy. But yeah, just kind of lightly put on some spots that you feel like are a bit more red. There you've got your acne. And just let it kind of sit. Now, if you want to, you don't have to. I don't think it really makes that big of a difference. You can put on a primer in this step. The NARS pot concealer is really good. And I want to say too, this same concept can extend with putting on a regular concealer beforehand. I think the Pat McGrath concealer is really good. I think the House Labs concealer is very good. I feel like NARS is also quite good. Those are some higher end ones. The e.l.f. Camo Concealer I do like. I don't think it is quite as good as the Pat McGrath or the House Labs, but it is also good. So again, if you're learning makeup and stuff, I do think that's good to try out, right? But you want to let it kind of sit for a bit. The NARS Pot Concealer, and the one I'm using is in Light 1 Chantilly. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a clay base or it's what, but it sits really well. So then this next step is going to be, you're going to do your foundation after. Now that you've done all this like kind of color correcting set spot, you can, if you want to do blush and stuff underneath, you can do underpainting. I do think underpainting can look quite nice. I'm probably not going to do it today because I just have some products that I feel like sit better on top versus underneath. A good example of what I think products that are good for underpainting, right, is some of the Hourglass contouring sticks and stuff like that. If that's what you want to do beforehand. Rare Beauty, the blush, I think is really good for underpainting. And if you don't know what underpainting is you kind of make it look extreme under, and then when you put your foundation on, you kind of melt it and blend it in. It looks good sometimes. I won't lie. I feel like it's a little bit, it just depends on where you're going, right? And how long you're wearing your makeup for, in my opinion. If you really want to do that. It's a lot of extra product and effort to kind of do. When I'm color correcting stuff like this, though, I feel like it's not worth it for me. I'd rather cover it and then do stuff on top. So it just kind of depends on, in my opinion, if you're more acne prone or really not. I'm going to blend this out just a little higher because I do have some redness up here too. So next we're going to go in with our foundation. And I actually have a couple options here. I do have I have a BB cream. And I also have I have a couple foundation options I wanted to try. I have another BB cream to try. And then I also have my House Labs foundation. I really like the House Labs foundation. Something to be careful of when buying makeup is, depending on your skin type, be very careful of purchasing matte makeup or matte foundations. And the reason I say that is because while they're nice, they are drying. And if you have slightly dry leaning skin at all, if you do a matte foundation, it's going to end up clinging to it at some point. Not always, but in my experience, especially if you've got acne prone skin, it happens a lot, right? We're putting out and stuff to dry out our skin and dry out the acne a lot of the time. So I would recommend being very weary of matte makeup. Even if you're going outside and it's hot, you can put on setting spray and you can use, this is another expensive product that I think is worth the investment. Last year's, in my experience, the Charlotte Tilbury press powder. This will be used later on, but this also helps matte some spots. If you're looking for makeup that just looks good on the daily, I recommend going for a natural to dewy finish. I don't recommend Radiant. Radiant is a lot more. Radiance is good too, honestly. The scale is like matte, natural, radiant, and then I think it's dewy. I like the natural to dewy scale because you can always tone it down a little bit, but products, in my opinion, mesh better a lot of the time when they are on the dewy and they look more natural, and it's easier to kind of mattify from there. Hold on, I'm gonna cough. Okay, so, the problem is I could use this one. I got one off YesStyle. It's really well rated. I just don't know if it's my shade. I don't know if I want to fuck around with it today. If you use something that's a BB cream, if you go the BB cream route, use your hands. You can use your makeup sponge. But I would recommend using your hands because it looks a lot more natural when you tend to do something like that. Same with if you use Jones Road. I love the Jones Road foundation. However, the last 3 times, I'm not kidding, 3 times I got it, the product was bad. So I haven't purchased it since. That said, I hope they fix the formula. I contacted them twice about it. They sent me a replacement twice, and I got tired of telling them about it and it having the same problem. I had it arrive, and it was like, it's a heavy skincare based one, and it has a great finish. Like I absolutely adored it. It's like still to this day I love it, but I'm scared to purchase it again because I got 3 bad batches, and I was like, I got sent 2 replacements, and they clearly are not quality control checking it, despite being shown it. Like the product I was like, it's a thicker product, and I had gotten it for a year or 2 at that point, and not had it received it bad. So I knew when it was bad. It had a different smell to it, and it had these hard chunks that were not dissolving in it, which, yeah, like hard small chunks. So I don't know, Jones Roads, if you watch this, hopefully, I mean, I highly doubt she is, or they are, but I don't know what happened there with the quality control. I'm scared to buy it again. I do miss it though. So that's something to kind of keep in mind with that. What do I want to do though? Foundations, again, House Labs is really nice. That's a full coverage and a buildable foundation. So if you're looking for something that's more full, that's really great. If you're looking for something more natural, I recommend BB creams. I don't know what I want to use today. I didn't have a good experience. I had acne people telling me to try the Fenty one. It did not look good on me, dude. It looked really bad. You saw it in one of these videos. I'm trying to decide what one I want to use today. Do I want to use a sponge or not? I think I'm scared to, maybe I should color swatch this first and just even see how it looks. Because, like, what is this called? This is, like, one of the top-rated BB creams on Yes Style. It's from Misha. I would take your jewelry off before you do makeup, too. That's the other thing. We're just gonna see what color this comes out as. I'm scared. Oh my god, how many pumps this is gonna... I feel like I'm gonna have to be like Jeffree Star. Hello? Okay, so it came out kind of dark. I'm just gonna see how this... That's looking really dark. I ordered quite a light color. Maybe, again, it's a BB cream, so like... No, it actually blended out quite nice. Okay, you know what? We're gonna full send this and try it. This is not good to do for, like, telling you the basics, but hey, this is the only way to learn, right? Fuck around and find out. God damn it. My hand has got makeup all over it. I don't feel like I have enough on here to really... It's got, like, a sunscreen. Okay, I'm gonna just pump it in my hand. BB creams, you gotta, like, rub. You're putting on lotion. That's... Oh, man, this could go bad. This might be bad. I'm gonna hope that I can just color correct this to some extent. I mean, it settled down a little. I think it's, like, slightly too dark. But, like, it's not horrible. I actually really like the feel of it. Oh my god. I think I need a slightly lighter shade. It did color down. The finish on this is fucking awesome, dude. What the fuck? I was really scared to put this on. I don't know if you... And that's even with the... Sometimes your hands are your best friend. I'm impressed by that. It has a very, like, radiant, natural finish. That looks like my skin. That looks like that's my skin. You would not have thought I did so much color corrector prior to that. See what I'm saying? Like, don't be afraid. Like, it's going to be a little red, and that's okay. We can put a little bit more concealer on that. But, like, here's the other thing I think we all need to talk about. It's okay to have a little acne poking through. As long as it looks natural, it's okay. We're not perfect, and we don't have to be perfect. I I could go on a rant about, and a lot of you already know, but like I could go on a rant about the plastic surgery industry. I'm not saying not to get plastic surgery, but we think so much on our imperfections, and to the point where we're doing really dumb things at a younger age, and it's really disheartening, and it doesn't help when all of Hollywood looks the exact fucking same. I hate that shit. This came out looking beautiful. I'm so impressed. My dog is ringing the doorbell. He's got to use the bathroom. Hold on. Here, you want to see Taz real quick? Taz, come here. Hey, come on. Hey. No, leave it. Don't mess with my makeup. Come on, up. Come here. Come on up. He don't want to do it. Hey. He wants the leaves. There's leaves by my door. Okay, go get the leaves. Go get the leaves. Anything that's skincare or BB cream based, use your hands. Don't use the brush. If I had used it's settling so well. I'm flabbergasted. Like, again, my hand, I mean, it could be a little lighter. But like, it looks really good. Okay, this is what it looks like. It's off Yes Style. Again, it smells like, I mean, there's sunscreen in it, which is like why that's what it looks like, but it's off Yes Style. Misha M Perfect Cover BB Cream. It is not shade range friendly, unfortunately, though. At least I should say the last time I checked. I didn't check really hard. Let me check Yes Style real quick for you guys. I know that they've gotten slack for not being very shade range friendly because they're primarily a Korean-based skincare and makeup brand, which is not really an excuse, but they haven't invested, and I do hope that they make it better if it's not. Yeah, there's only 7 colors currently. I do hope they make it better. However, yeah, it goes from bright beige to camel beige. They need a better shade range. They really do, because but again, I don't know if they've seen enough people showing interest in other markets to validate the cost. Though it's not like people that have different skin colors, like darker complexions, don't live in Korea, because they do. So I don't know what's going on there. Misha, I hope that they get a better color range. This is impressive. If Tier did it and got invested, I would surely hope that this brand takes notes and does that. But we'll see what happens. Just something to kind of be transparent about. But yeah, now that that's done, let it sit for a little bit. You can do concealer. Now, here's one thing I recommend being a little bit careful of. Sometimes when we put concealer on, and especially when we have hollowing of our under eyes, sometimes putting concealer there draws more attention to it than it does really take away. Something that I learned recently with concealer, and I personally use less now than I used to, is you want to be careful about where you do it. And I'm just going to continue to use my fingers because that's just what I did for the base of the product. I am going to put a little bit on this spot here, and this is my House Labs one. Now I'm going to also put 2 little dots under where the hollow spot is of my eyes. I'm doing that because I got a cough. Hold on. I'm going to pause it. Wait. Oh my god, I think I did my pausing backwards. I don't know where I was last when I stopped this, but I apologize. I don't know. Fuck. I was just dragging. I was being critical. I wasn't being deconstructive. But this does not have a good shade range. It's not like people of color, people of color. It's not like people with darker complexions don't live in Korea or anything like that. Plenty of people that do not have the typical Korean complexion definitely have darker complexions, and I hope they get a better shade range. Tier, this is actually looking amazing. I cannot get over it. But it's not like they can't do that. If Tier did it, I would surely hope that these guys can. Again, this is called Misha, Missha, and I have this in shade Natural Beige. Again, I could get this a little lighter, probably would be better for me. Because again, it's winter time. This is pretty close to my summer shade, but even then, it's not as dark as I was expecting. It settled really nice. I haven't been impressed with the foundation since the House Labs one. And this is a BB cream. So also, sorry, my husband's hitting a punching bag back there, so if you hear that, tough shit. I know, anyways, now I'm going in with concealer. Really recommend being careful with the concealer, especially when we have things like hollow under eyes. I got a cough again, hold on. I'm trying to help with my self-cutting and just pausing in OBS. We have to be careful, in my opinion. This was a trick I learned recently. Putting too much brightening products in the hollowness of your under eyes, making it brighter there sometimes draws more attention to it. With acne spots, if you're going to do it, I feel like a liquid. I feel like NARS is best for under foundation, not over it. And then I think it's better to use liquid and let it sit for a little bit on top. Then you're just going to kind of pat it out and blend it. This probably not the best circumstance. I can already tell it's kind of leaving a hole in it. So I potentially will not do this in the future. I'm going to let it continue to sit even though I've patted it a little bit, see if I can kind of overcorrect it. And also I'm going to take some of the excess of the product and just put it on some of my other spots. Again, you want to be a little careful about this. Again, your hands are your best tools with some of this stuff. Because you don't want to leave it like a ring, which was kind of what started to happen there, so you could see. But no, putting product sometimes under your eyes and doing the big triangle is not good. Having more product under your eyes most of the time is not good. Putting too much product under your eyes creates a caking effect and will exacerbate your wrinkles a lot of the time because you're putting more product there. So more product moving is not good, especially with things like under our eyes. So what you want to do, and a trick that I learned, especially with hollow stuff, and I feel like it works, you guys might feel differently. Putting a little bit of concealer, not much, just a little bit of it, under where the hollowing is, sometimes draws away the attention of your hollowness because it's pulling your attention to where it's bright. And now, in person, I notice a difference. On camera, you're not, in my opinion, going to see it. This camera, you're going to see it very well, purely because you're seeing a higher reflection than what I am in my mirror, because I have the studio lighting and that camera's pulling up a little bit higher of a contrast of the reflection you can see. You'll notice it when I go to pat it down with the matte effect, what I'm kind of talking about. You can already kind of see it's a little bit brighter here. Again, you're seeing a lot of reflection because this is a more radiant leaning foundation BB cream. Okay, it's not perfect. It looks better. I don't have a very harsh ring going on with it at all. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to continue and fuck with this. And I don't recommend you do that either, okay? Again, it's okay to have a bit of acne. If it looks natural, who gives a fuck? It's okay to have it show up a little bit. So anyways, it looks good. It looks natural. I've toned down the redness. I've toned down the texture. I'm fucking happy. Okay, so now moving on. Next step, what I'm going to do here is, and again, you can do this differently. If you're doing a crazy heavy eye look, you're gonna want to do that eye look before you do foundation. Now, if you're doing stuff that involves decent, and I want to say creative art looks. So my Akatsuki makeup, for example, I did that, I believe, before foundation. I can't quite remember. The reason I say it's risky to do it before foundation is because if you have fallout under your eyes, you have to then remove the makeup there and then redo it. So that's kind of my opinion on that. People are back and forth on what they like to do. The thing you get worried with fallout, right? So there's that. Another nice foundation that I like is Clio. This is also off of Yes Style. I don't feel like they've got a good shade range either, like Tier, but Tier is also solid. I do like the Tier. I would go for personally not this one. If you have acne dry skin, slightly dry leaning skin, I feel like this grabs to acne a little bit more than I would like. I'm not saying you can't get it. I think for my personal preference, it's a little bit more than I would like it to. There's a slightly more radiant dewy one though, and I would personally get that and try it out over this. I don't know what I'm hearing. I don't know what I'm hearing upstairs. I was hearing I think it's Edgar meowing. It's my cat. I think my cat's talking. Personal opinions on those. Blush. This is also from Yes Style. They've got a lot. There's quite a bit of good shades to it. It looks like it's nail polish, but it's not. This is just my personal preference, what I like. But I like to do a blush next. That's the next step I like to go with. You don't have to. Again, if you do. Oh no, Edgar is down here. Oh, what the fuck? I don't know what's going on. I also, and you might have the same thing, but part of my face, particularly my cheek area, absorbs product more than the other side. The right side of my face, you're going to see when I do it. I'm putting a little bit more product here than this side because this side will show a lot of, I don't know. I don't know if everybody has this issue. I know quite a bit of friends that have had the issue. And again, I'm just going to pat. Don't drag. Do not drag. The only time dragging was with the foundation. You want to tap. It's like stippling with your finger. And you're just going to blend this in. You can use a brush. The reason I'm not using a brush with this like I normally do, though, is because this is a different foundation type. I did a BB cream. Normally, what I would do is just use a brush, and this is the brush shape I like. You can do a different one. You want kind of a high-density brush that's not too big, in my opinion. And again, when you do that, you don't ever want to drag. You want to stipple and pat it in. I'm going to do a little bit more because I do feel like that it's just not... I don't have as much as I want right now. And again, your blush and stuff, every makeup is going to interact slightly different. It's a bunch of trial and error every time. Sometimes things don't lay great together. I do think it's laying quite nicely. I do think I just need a little bit more product for what I'm wanting. But I'm going to go ahead and just pat that in. Go pat it in. Hi, hon.
How's it going?
I'm recording for my makeup channel.
Oh, snap. What up, makeup? YouTube.
You dork. Are you working out in there, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm at that age where you're so busy and you're just doing so much.
Uh-huh.
And when you step away from that desk,
You just want to beat the shit out of something?
in jeans, you still get a little workout.
Why are you working in jeans? You work at home at your desk. Hey, stop that. Why are you doing that?
Robert Kennedy works out in jeans.
No, he doesn't. Why the fuck does he work out in jeans?
There was a time in this country where
No,
men were rugged.
no.
Where men were rugged.
All right, get the fuck out of here, you weirdo. Who the fuck works out in jeans?
Chuck Norris.
No,
You ever throwing a high kick in jeans? In Levi's?
I don't-
You ever kicked a man in the face whose name was
I want
Levi
to face
while
palm,
wearing
but I just did
Levi's?
my fucking makeup. And I can't.
All the dogs down here.
Shut
You know
up.
why? 'Cause the dogs are riled up. Woo woo.
Oh my god. Hi, Shiva. I know, Dad's stupid. Hi. I know. It's dumb. That's being dumb, dude. She's like, that's being silly again. Me too. I love you. You're so cute. You're so cute. I love you. That's my best friend right there. Oh, here comes Doofus. I love him too, but... Hey, Taz. Take it upstairs on the rug. Don't do this to me. They get sassy. It's been cold. And I've been sick. So they're like extra riled up because I couldn't take them on a thing today. Well, yesterday. It's been Taylor that's been having to help do stuff. I'm gonna cough again. Hold on. Okay, I'm good. He's eating a leaf. Okay, next step, what I like to do, and again, I just like to kind of keep it a little bit more on the natural side. Up to you. If you want to go heavier with your blush, you can do it. I recommend starting lighter and building up, though, and kind of going from there. Because you can always add more. Taking away is very difficult. It's just like with painting. Also, I want to say, depending on where your blush placement and stuff's going to be, depending on your face shape. If you have more of a round face shape, do it on the apples of your cheek and stuff. I tend to have... I don't even know what fucking face shape you want to call this. Annoying? I mean, I like my face. Grateful for it. A little sharper. You kind of see it. Like, if I do it on my apples, it kind of draws to my under eyes and some other stuff. And, like, yeah. So I put mine on, like, kind of my cheekbones and stuff. If you've got a rounder face, you might want to do it a little bit differently. I just do what works with mine. So you might want to play around with it a little bit differently. Or look for makeup dedicated maybe to more rounder faces. And again, it doesn't mean it's wrong, but you might want to do different blush placements, you know, depending on it. Might flatter how you look a little bit more, you know? Play around with it. But yeah, it will, just keep in mind, it'll draw a little bit more warmth and attention to that part of your face. That's the goal of blush, make you look a little more alive. Oh, God. Why are you taunting them? You know they're down here. I'm not stopping him because Edgar does that because he likes it. I'm not kidding. He taunts them. He thinks it's fun. And then he bats at him, and he doesn't use his claws. He's like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah." And then Edgar and Taz just sit there. He's like, they're so dumb. I thought Edgar didn't like it for the longest time. No. I helped him and I'd prevent it. And he does it on purpose. He does it on purpose. He messes with the dogs. Anyways, moving on. Next thing to do, eyebrows. Okay? Next step you want to do is your eyebrows. Now, I don't dye my eyebrows. I'm going to try doing that in the next video, though. I find dyeing your eyebrows, this is my opinion again, I'm going to try dyeing them again soon, though. But how I have always kind of felt is that dyeing your eyebrows, a lot of the time the dye just kind of comes off when you cleanse your face. And I cleanse my face twice a day, and it's at night. And then I do face masks and stuff. And I feel like it just strips the dye off my eyebrows when I had done it one time prior to. So what I use is an eyebrow product that matches my hair in place. I naturally have blonde eyelashes. I have a lot of eyelashes, but they're just fucking light colored. I think you can see them. I'm hoping you can kind of see them right now. But it's kind of the same with my brows, you know? Taz? Oh, that's you. Okay, I was very confused. Anyways, I like to use the NYX Brow Tint Pen because it matches. It's just, I like that it's a liquid. I like the amount of hair that I have here, and I just want to kind of change the color of it. So it's more of like staining my brows. If you are looking to use a brow pencil that is just, you are trying to add some of that line work and stuff in, there are some better products. NYX and Milani have solid brow products. I know people like Benefit as well for brow products. I might have to invest or look a little bit more for you guys. Again, I'm sure there's other creators that might, that have done brow review videos that do draw their eyebrows in a little bit. So I'm probably not going to be too much help in that department. So I do apologize. But yeah, I just use, if you're looking to tint it, and again, oh, this is something I should point out too. When you do your brows, don't start up here. You notice how I'm avoiding this whole block area at the front? I recommend doing the same thing, okay? Because even though I want this color to look the same, if I start there, when I blend my product in, I don't have much blending that's going on. And the goal of blending is to blend it in, not have the whole thing look the same, right? Because we don't want to have the blocky stuff go on. So anyways, I'm starting after this front block that I've got, and I'm putting it top and bottom through there. And I'm following the natural shape of my arch for the most part. Now, if there's a spot where I'm like, oh, it needs evened out a little bit, or it needs pulled out slightly more here, you can do that. And I will do that, But I don't recommend drawing severely above any points or under on your brows. Again, in my opinion, if you want to look like you age a little bit nicer and have a go-to look that's not too trendy, you want to stick with your natural brow shape for the most part. Again, if you want to shave, I know some people that fucking love shaving part of their eyebrows on and drawing it in. You can do that. Nothing wrong with that. Just depends on what you want to do, at the end of the day. It's what makes you happy. I use, for this next step, where the hell is it? Where the fuck did it go? I got too much shit that I'm not using in this. The fuck? I never, don't have it here. Hey, what do you do? Oh, she's just looking around. I thought she had something. Here it is. I already set it out. So this is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This is actually a nice product. You can draw your brows in. It's very fine. You could do something like this. I have used this before. Now, I am not going to use this side of it. However, I love this side of the pencil. It is a very small brush. Now, your typical spoolie, gotta fill the focus. I have thinner brows naturally. Not super thin, but I've got thinner. So notice the size of the spoolie difference. So the one above is the natural spoolie size. The one below me is the NYX Brow Pencil spoolie. See how much thinner it is? I feel like it's way better for brows. So I literally keep this pencil, even though I don't use the pencil really, just so I can use the spoolie. Because I think this one's too big, and if I'm blending my product out to slightly in through here, I'm going to be dragging it outside of my eyebrow line, and I don't want that. So What you're going to do is, see where I left that space? We're going to blend it now. So you're just going to start little by little. You're going to just brush through this front part. And voila. Look how blended that is. See, this is what we started with, and this is what we're left with after. See, it looks natural, and it's looked like that color has taken over to what, and it looks like it might be my natural brown. He's in his cat tree. He's looking for him. See what I mean? Edgar literally just run. It's a game of hide and seek with him. So anyways, I'm going to do the same thing over here. Hey, I'm doing my brows. Kind of blend it over. And voila, we now have the same thing. I went a little bit too close to the outside on this one, but, you know. It's okay. But yeah, now my brows are done. So the next step I like to do is, and it depends if you're going to, I'll do some eyeshadow for eyeshadow's sake today. I am just going to use my McGrath palette. I love this palette. I don't remember what the palette name on this one is. Mothership. I think that's the name of this one. And so these are the colors I have in here. I like the amount of neutrals and warms and like dark I primarily got it for these colors here. I do like the other ones. I'm sorry. Oh my god, that one snuck up on me. Excuse me, sir. I like it for those shades. It is an expensive palette. I bought this years ago. I know makeup expires. I use it way beyond the expiration date. I don't give a shit. I paid a lot of money for it. I'm going to keep it and use it until it's gone. That's my thought process. So anyways, next is I like to do an eyeshadow. So normally what I recommend doing, grab your pressed powder. And again, I've tried cheaper ones. I really do think this one is worth it. And I'm going to take, and I recommend this too. The usual thing people do is they grab a big brush. Don't grab a big brush. Grab a small brush. This one is just an EcoTools brush. This is what it looks like. You can get any brush that's similarly densely packed and small. Okay? It can be EcoTools. It can be e.l.f. It doesn't have to be labeled as a concealer and eye packing brush. If you just get a brush that looks similar to this, okay? Slightly flat, densely packed. And so you're going to go in, you're just going to grab a little bit, okay? And what you're going to do, and I'm just going to do the rest of my face because I fucking want to right now, is you're just going to tap in. You're not going to drag. You're not going to use giant setting powder. You're just going to tap it in. And the reason I'm saying tap is because it will mattify it. That's the best way. And you're going to just tap, 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 tap. Now, I don't like going over here because I like see how this, I don't even need a highlighter right now because of that natural glow. So I'm going to avoid that. I'm just going to be putting this in my T-zone. So T-zone is here and here and slightly over here. Now notice I know, again, I have hollow under eyes. It's just how kind of my eyes look. It's my genetics. It's not the end of the world. Will I get it fixed at some point? Maybe. Probably. I'm getting Sculptra just to help with that a little bit. Because I'm tired of color correcting it and stuff. But anyways, you're just going to do your T-zone. And I'm only going to do my T-zone just to show you. And again, don't do this until you're done with your brows and everything. So I'm just going to do the right side of my face. And I like to avoid touching my nose. You can come up a little bit through here. See where you can go up a little bit through here if you want. I recommend leaving the nose alone though. I like showing my natural nose shape. I don't care to do all the snatched contour shit. I rub my nose a lot because I sneeze and I get an itchy nose. I'm sick. Whatever the hell it is. My nose gets easily agitated. I'm touching my nose a lot. I laugh. I touch my face. That region, I'm not trying to fuck with it. I don't want to have to touch makeup up on it. He's hitting the doorbell again. Taz, you were just outside. I know you're lying. He wants to go eat the leaves. So anyways, I'm going to put a little bit on my chin now. And you can save doing this. Notice, look how different the left side of my face is now and the right side in terms of shine. You don't notice my hollowness nearly as much as you do this side because the reflection has been taken away for the most part. Again, it's still there. It's part of my face. It's okay. But now I'm going to do that to the other side. That's the miracle of pressed powder. If you use a loose powder, you're not going to get the same effect. Loose powder is used to brighten and chisel parts of your face that you want it to sit on en masse. It is not, a pressed powder is used to take shine away. Do you hear him? He's under my desk. He's just, hi. Do you want me to do your makeup? Want me to do your makeup? Oh, you're my sweet boy. You're my sweet boy. Don't lick it. Don't lick the eyeshadow palette, son of a bitch. But yeah, you take your time with this. You don't have to go fast. Also, if you want to take a little bit of the shine away from that little acne spot, even though, again, it's still there, and I know it's still there, take some of the shine away, makes it slightly less noticeable. So we're going to do that. Put that there. I recommend being careful with smile lines. I don't know how this makeup's going to sit with my smile lines. I smile a lot, so I get smile lines. I'm still working on trying to find a method that's perfect with that. But yes, I'm going in, and I'm just lightly tapping and stippling with my pressed powder. Pressed powder is also great. This is also why I got it out, okay? Also, I like to put a little bit under my nose because I don't care for much shine through here. I'll leave it there. It's also great for a base, okay, on your eyelid. Now, you can avoid this if you want it, if your eyelid's naturally a little more oily. It's going to happen, just how eyelids are. You can put an eyelid primer down. I don't particularly care to do that personally. It's just not what I do. I like to put this down, or I'll use concealer and then put a pressed powder on top. If you don't put a pressed powder down, any color you use is going to be more sheer. So if you want something to be sheared color-wise that you are putting on and look a lot more natural and blend in a bit more, you don't need to do this step. But if you do want the pigment to show, you are going to want to put this pressed powder down. If you're using something that's very colored, you can do a white or very light leaning color for your base. Okay? But if you don't, any color that's darker, if you don't put it on your eyelid first, is going to be a lot lighter. So now, I'm going to go in with this brush right here. Again, I don't know what fucking brush this is. This is what it looks like. This is an loose. It's got a lot of bristles, but it's spread out. It's not overly dense. And I'm going to use this as a blending brush. And so I'm going to go in with this slightly darker shade for my eyelid, okay? I'm just going to grab a little bit of it. And I'm going to use it as the edge shade here, okay? Now with hooded eyes, you have to go up higher than where you need to go on where the bone flap starts if you want the color to show up a little bit. If you only do it on your eyelid, and I'm going to still put on my eyelid. If you only do it on your eyelid, I'll show you on this side, you're not going to see it. Gone. See, on this side where I can see it's blended out a little bit, but this one's gone. So we're just going to blend it up on that brow bone hump. You know what under brow bone I'm talking about. It's like your brow bone, and then you have this actual bone piece here because we've got hooded eyes, right? It's your ocular bone. Maybe that's what the fuck it is. I don't fucking know, dude. I'm not a doctor. So you're just gonna blend that out real quick. So that's what I've done, and I've kind of put it on the base here. Keep this brush. Don't get rid of it. Now I'm gonna go in with this darker shimmer. I'm going to use my finger. I recommend fingering your eyeshadow palettes. Your finger is your best tool. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to take this, rub its little spot, and I'm going to go on my eyelid here, and I'm just going to pat. Pat, 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 pat. Pat, pat, pat. And I'm going to slightly bring it up on the ocular spot. Not much, just slightly. Okay? And now I'm left with this nice little look that's a little bit darker. I don't know what fucking shade this is. This is the best, though. It doesn't look like it would look like this, but it does. And it looks amazing in person. I can't tell you how amazing this shade specifically looks in person in the sun. So I'm just going to go a little bit on the ocular bone, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Now, I know it's going to look rough when you touch the ocular bone with it. Leave it. Don't mess with it yet, okay? Go over here. It's going to look like there's a lot more product on your finger than what's kind of coming off here because I'm trying to be careful about dragging it. I feel like I got a clump and made it darker on that side. Now, if you want, you can put a lighter shade on the inside corner of your eye. It is entirely up to you. But since I've got hooded eyes, I don't really give a fuck. And so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it the fuck alone. I'm not trying to bring any shimmer personally back to my under eye. Okay, so now that we've done that, we've barely touched that ocular bone area. Now I'm going to take a tissue and wipe my finger off. Because I don't want to accidentally touch parts of my face. So we're going to do that. We're now going to go back to this brush, and we're going to just go back and forth on that ocular bone area. Go back and forth. Back and forth. Like you're painting. Alright? And just like that, you've now blended and feathered it out. Now, if you want to, you can go to your under eye. I'm not going to do that unless I'm doing an eyeliner. I'm trying to do a kind of lighter look today. And I know that sounds silly. I'm going to go in with a red mascara because it matches my hair. It's just what I want to do today. If you use a black mascara, I stand by, these are the best mascaras that you can get. I've tried expensive shit, and it's not anywhere near as good, okay? There's the regular black, and then there's waterproof. You can get either. Now, I'm going to say, the first time or two you use these, it's going to be way too wet, and you're going to be like, this is fucking shit. It's only the first time or two that you use this. After that, it's going to be amazing. But it is going to work like shit the first couple times that you use it. So, that's why it gets bad reviews. It is amazing after that. The first time. So, if you got to go somewhere, you don't want a fresh tube of this. Okay? You want to use the fresh tube or two. Tube the first 2-3 times you use it to be before you're going somewhere, okay? Don't buy a fresh tube and then go use this, because that's when you're going to hate it. And you're going to be like, it's not looking how I want it to. So I'm just want to preface with that. If I'm streaming and stuff, because I cry laugh a lot, I'll use this. This is not waterproof, but I want to do red today, so I'm going to do red. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Dream Pop, okay? Now, you can use false lashes if you want to. When you're new to makeup, though, I do not recommend that. I don't think it's a good idea. It is just a huge skill curve. By all means, practice using it, but I think you should get the basics and the rest of it down before you start fucking with things like that. So anyways, I'm focusing on my outer lash bits, but notice how I'm not just doing one coat and then going back and forth. Focus on the bottom, feather it out. Notice how I'm just constantly going whoop, whoop, whoop. That's what you want to do. And you'll get it the length that you want. You want to do it all in one go. You don't want to clump it towards the end of your eyelashes. If you're getting clumps towards the end of your eyelashes, you're focusing your mascara on the wrong spot. You want to focus on the root the most, and then drag it out lightly from there. And there'll be spots where I'm like, if I want it darker at the root, I'm going to go in a little bit more focused. And take my time. And again, I will go in with the end to make it a little bit more focused on these lashes. And bada bing, bada boom. This side is now done. Now I'm going to do the other side that hasn't been used on this mascara wand. I'm so sorry. I'm going to do the same thing. And again, I will say, I know, I'm very aware, I got graced with long lashes, so this advice might not work for you, and I'm very sorry that I can't give better advice. But the advice that I do have, this is what I can give. If you do want thicker lashes, I really recommend being careful of the full band. And I would look into doing singles. Singles, they do take a bit more time because you're going to have to place them more individually, but it's easier to blend those in, and they look more natural than it does doing the full band. If you do decide to go the band route, one, it's easy to mess them up, and they'll lift sometimes if you don't know what you're doing, especially while you're learning. And you will see the band. You will see the band. And it's a challenge to get used to seeing with them too. I am going to go back over here because my left lashes just worked a little bit nicer, and now I'm going to try and make these a little thicker to match the side. You can tell my right eyeball is in its eyelash shedding phase right now based off that. But, you know, start with learning mascara, take the baby steps, go from there. Now, I do have hooded eyes, so I don't know if you've noticed, for the most part, see how I have my head angled kind of back? That's what I do to avoid getting it on my eyelid. I don't go like this and look down and do my mascara. I do not recommend looking like down and doing your mascara. You want to lean back and do your mascara. See, notice how I've got, and again, I can clean them up quickly, but that right there, like, especially with having hooded eyes, that's, you're going to get mascara that way then. Okay, so I've got that done. The next thing I'm going to do is my lip. Now, I have been doing my makeup like this for years. I gotta cough again, hold on. I think I've been doing my makeup like this for 7 years now, something like that. I like the Kim Possible look. I like the low maintenance of it though. So what I do is I take a lip stain. This one's from CoverGirl in Brazen Raisin. And I'm only going to do my top lip. Also, please, for the love of God, don't overline your lips. It's okay if you have a smaller lip. It's okay. You don't need to look like you got sucked off from Monsters, Inc. I promise you, everyone can see that you've overlined your lip. Now, my lip, I don't have much edge protruding. This is also why I like to do this. So I have to, it also takes me longer, but. I need to get more. I'm running out. And just like that, that's what I'll do. Then, what I like to do is I'm going to leave my top lip alone for now. I don't do anything to my bottom lip color-wise. You can if you want. Again, I'm not doing like a full lip makeup, like lip look right now. All right, I'm just doing kind of something that's looking a little bit more natural. I'm going in with this NYX Fat Oil. And I'm just going to put it on my bottom. I love this stuff. It feels great, by the way. It's not sticky. It feels awesome. So I'm going to do that. So now my top is slightly darker. Then what I'm going to do, this is what I've been doing lately. This is CoverGirl in Black Honey. And I'm just going to put this on my top lip. Now, I could do another layer or two of the staining on the top. But it's low, so it's not going to be very effective right now. I need to get more. And I'm just going to do this. And bada bing, bada boom. My lips are done, and it's slightly dark on the top. Again, I like Kim Possible. I've been doing my makeup like this for like 7 years. So that's what I'm going to do. So now you're going to think, oh, you're done. You're not done yet. I recommend using a setting spray. Supposedly, everybody says the one-size setting spray is the best. I haven't really gotten to use this right yet because I've been fucking sick. However, what I will say is that if you use a setting spray, dry it with your blow dryer on low heat after. That is a hack that spread like wildfire from Tati online, and I do firmly believe that that's very helpful. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to then put my blow dryer on top of it. I'm going to go from there. I do think the NYX and the Pore Grip, that's the e.l.f. one. I do think that this one's good. I do think these two are good. I tried the Rare Beauty one. I didn't think it was that great. I'm going to use this one. It's aerosol, which I'm not a big fan of. It makes me cough, and I'm also sick right now, but I want to give this another shot, so I'm going to use that. But your makeup is more or less done. And yes, you do want to still use your pressed powder. If you feel like you still need to press powder a little bit more after, you can. I'm probably should do that, though, actually, the more I'm thinking on it. I'm seeing a couple spots where I want to go back in and do this a little bit, so 1 second. I'm just going to do that real fast. Now, I don't know if people use the blow dryer with this one size one. I don't feel like they do because it's an aerosol versus normally the other ones are a wet spray. You know what I mean? So I'm going to wing this. But anyways, cover your eyes if you want to or your mouth. It's really up to you, but I'm going to just start. It fucking reeks, bro. Anything aerosol is fucking tough, dude. Fuck. God, it's like what people in the 80s I feel like went through every day with their fucking hairspray. I probably should have done it in a spot I'm not going to be sitting in for the next bit. But here I am. Okay. So that's done. I'm actually not going to use the blow dryer because I feel like I just shouldn't be using that with that type of setting spray. So I'm going to, God, it's rough to breathe. So then, bada bing, bada boom, you're done. If you want to do a highlighter, you can. You don't have to. It's really up to you. And if you do use a highlighter, I personally really like House Labs' highlighter's nice. It's kind of like a jelly-like slight substance. This one's a little too champagne-y dark for me. This is really nice. They've got other shades you can get. I also feel like it's just a great close, and I also really like the packaging. It's like a very pearlescent, like very pretty, and it's thinner. Ofra also has really nice highlighters. Again, you want to be careful about how much you use them, though, just because a little goes a long way with those. Slightly tap with your finger and then like go from there. If you do it on a brush, like you could wet your brush a little bit with setting spray beforehand, touch it a little bit, and then like dab it on your face. But they're going to be quite a bright highlighter. Otherwise, like I said, I think it looks quite natural, and I like how this natural sheen is right here. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to leave it from there. And just like that, we're done. We're all good. Don't mind me posing for my thumbnail. So, there we go. Hopefully you learned a little bit from today. Hopefully this was a little bit of a helpful video and some decent product recommendations for you. But yeah, without further ado, I gotta go take a picture for my buildable stuff real quick, and then I gotta stream. So, I'll see you guys later. Don't forget the sub button, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!